Sergio Leone is one of the most legendary filmmakers of all time. He's known for revitalizing the Western genre during the 1960s, especially in creating the spaghetti Western genre. Leone directed 7 feature films during his career, and in the process he became known for his epic shots, tight close-ups, and the use of long, tension-filled sequences. After directing the immensely popular Dollars trilogy, he directed 3 more films, the Once Upon a Time trilogy. These 2 trilogies mark a distinct difference in Leone's film style. Where the Dollars trilogy focuses on traditional Western themes and archetypes such as greed, survival, and stoicism, the Once Upon a Time trilogy delves deeper into character psychology and explores broader societal and historical themes. Moreover, this change in film content also marked an evolution in film language. The Dollars trilogy had matured Leone's abilities, and he had become a master at creating dramatic tension. The film Once Upon a Time in the West is one of the best examples of this. Throughout the film, Leone uses the cinematic language of opposites to highlight different parts of the story he's telling, and through this he creates a very distinct type of tension, something characteristic only to him. I'm going to show you how Leone does this using the film Once Upon a Time in the West, and there's 3 parts to it. Number 1. Sound and silence. The film starts off with 3 bandits taking over a train station. They've been hired to kill a passenger who's supposed to arrive on the train. The scene is almost entirely shot without dialogue or music. It's mostly silent. You can only hear some small sounds such as the windmill creaking, birds chirping, or flies buzzing around. These small sounds accentuate the silence, giving it a space to exist in. When combined with the presence of the bandits, who are really menacing and malicious, the overall atmosphere is very tense and heavy. When the train arrives, it arrives with a strong sound. The atmosphere loosens and the sound brings an assumption that the tension will be resolved. We associate sound with safety. A passenger comes out of the train, and instead of abruptly cutting from the sound of the train back to silence, the passenger auditorily guides us to silence with his harmonica. Now we're back in the same tension we were before, the danger of silence. This time we're guided to silence by the main character. The subtext is that we're safe to enter danger with our lead character. This subtext is further accentuated by the upcoming violence. As we go back to silence after it. This time silence isn't menacing anymore because we have company, the harmonica. The next scene is very similar. The sound of grasshoppers brings safety, and when the sound ends, the scene gets dangerous. You see what Leone does? He uses the opposites of sound and silence to create the dramatic tension of safety and danger. Number 2. Visual language. Like Leone's other westerns, Once Upon a Time in the West features a lot of close-ups. We see characters' faces up close, and sometimes the close-ups get really extreme and we only see the eyes, which cover the entire canvas. Alongside this, we see a lot of wide shots of sweeping vistas and beautiful plains. Once again, Leone is using the language of opposites to drive the story, using close shots and wide shots. In the climax of the movie, the mysterious harmonica in beige meets the antagonist Frank in black. During the meeting, we see a perfect interplay of wide shots and close-ups. We start off with wide shots, and as the tension rises, we get closer and closer. Using the opposites of close-ups and wide shots, the scene shows a strong sense of polarity. This meeting of harmonica and Frank is no ordinary meeting, but rather a meeting of strong opposites of life and death. It's evident that only one will walk away alive from this fight for life. Instead of using only sound, Leone uses clear-cut visual language, editing and framing to drive his story. Number 3. Rhythm. The film is filled with a lack of movement, with inertia. The entire movie is actually quite slow, and overall it's a lot different from modern fast-cutting blockbusters. The inertia is very intentional. It's used to set the stakes and create mood, as you saw in the first part of the video. When action happens, it happens fast and abruptly. The climaxes reach a crescendo very quickly. This gives the movie a very particular rhythm. It moves ahead slowly, and every now and then the crescendos advance the story in a fast way. Leone himself has said that he's much more interested in the moments leading up to the violence instead of the violence itself, and this preference is very evident in the movie. Using the opposite language of slowness and speed, the rhythm of the film does the same thing as the sound and visual language do. It uses opposites as cinematic devices to tell a story. If we were to visualize the rhythm in a graph, it would look something like this. We have a slow build-up of a scene, an exposition of everything worth noting. Sometimes this can take up to 10 minutes, but every now and then the build-up reaches an apex point, a crescendo. After that, we're back to a slow build-up. The movie really has a pulse, and the pulse reminds us that the movie is about extremities, dread and humor, life and death, beginnings and ends. Using sound and silence, close-ups and wide shots, and slowness and speed, Sergio Leone showcases his skills of using cinematic opposites as storytelling devices. In terms of individual expression, this is really creative. Once Upon a Time in the West was Sergio Leone's testament to Western films. The Western genre was dying and its golden age had passed as new cinematic demands, such as realism and socially conscious films, made it obsolete. I think it's no coincidence that the feelings caused by this end of an era resulted in Leone creating a movie filled with opposites, as an ending is always followed by a beginning. It's probably mostly unintentional, but I think the idea is beautiful. Sergio Leone, going through an end and a new beginning, creates a movie filled with beginnings and ends, of polar opposites, of life and death. Those skeptical of this idea can look at the film itself, which is filled with a sort of melancholy and wistfulness, reminiscent of a past age.
I hope you'll come back someday.
I mean, as far as we know, we might never get to see another director with such mastery of using opposites to create tension, drama, and nostalgia. More than that, will truly artistic Western movies come back someday? Thankfully, Leone provides an answer.
Someday.
Thanks for watching. I want to hear what you think about Sergio Leone and Once Upon a Time in the West. Also, I'm working on something new all the time, so if you want to hear about it, subscribe.